What's good, YouTube? In today's topic, Minnie Dlamini and her estranged husband Quinton Jones, who is demanding 10k spousal maintenance. All right. On top of, he's also requesting the courts grant him primary custody for their son, meaning that he wants to have custody of the child. I'm just using this as a case study for most men. As you know, that there's been a wide range of stories that have been going up and popping off on the either the YouTube, Twitter, Facebook streets, whatever streets you call it. So just for some context, of course, Minnie Dlamini and Quinton Jones were married in 2017 until recently, I think maybe about a year ago or so, or just over a year ago. They were of course starting with the divorce process. And of course, the reason being for their divorce would be, of course, a range of speculated reasons. One of them, of course, being infidelity, etc. The story has been going through so many things, through so many hurdles, rather. Quinton being a very, very, reserved guy, not all over the internet, doing what he does. And then, of course, you've got Minnie Dlamini, who's a very influential face in South Africa. Whether it be on TV, it's on TV or social media, whatever have you. That's pretty much how it is now. And of course, she, since her divorce, has been going through a lot of podcasts talking about her failed marriage, etc. My thing is that now we live in a world where there is we live in a world where we have equality. Gender equality is gender roles. There's always this debates. It doesn't matter where you go to, whether you go on a different podcast, if you speak, there's always going to be this debate on gender roles, right? And I always sense there's always a bit of goalpost moving when it comes to situations like this. Now that it comes through that he's demanding 10k for spousal support and the custody of their son, he's getting a lot of backlash for it. Everyone's mad right now at this point in time regarding the situation. This always speaks to the double standards that we always talk about on our platforms or panel discussions. There's always this topic of double standards and how people feel. I always believe that what's good for one person should be good for the next, because we live in a world, and very, very rightfully so, women have been fighting for this thing called equality. They've been fighting for, equal rights in the workplace, equal rights in society in general, which is a good thing. I think that it's a good thing. But as well, it should also apply in a legal sense. What have you? It should apply in a legal sense, in my opinion. And a lot of people have something to say about it, because now everyone's saying, oh yeah, why is he doing that? Oh no, why is he gotta do this? He's broke. He ain't got no money. Why does he have to do that? Look, a guy of his status, a guy of his position in life, they don't need to do what they do, but they'll do it just to prove a point. Okay? They'll do it just to prove a point. And that's what pretty much looks like what he's doing in this case. Yes, people call him a coward, they'll call him he's not man enough, but it comes back to this talking point, is to say, why? And this is the problem I personally have, especially when it comes to our communities. There's a lot of selective outrage when it comes to situations like this. If the roles were turned around, where she was actually taking him to the courts for 10k, you'd probably get a lot of, yes, do it, take him to the cleaners, clean him out, do it. Make sure he's on the streets after you're done with him. The moment he does it, the moment he says that this is what I want and what ideally I'd like in this divorce process, he's broke, he's not a man, men have become women, a lot of shaming language, That's why I say with men, is it really worth it to get married if this is the long-term goal? But as well, I want men is to say this: look, date who you want to according to your preference, but you need to have a little bit of discernment when it comes to situations like this. When you're vetting a woman, understand what you're dealing with. Do you understand me? If you're dealing with a person who lacks structure, a person who lacks listening to you, or a person in general who does not respect you, why would you, deal with her? why would you want to deal with her in the long-term process? Because now you're ignoring the red flags, number one, when you're dating. Then the red flags come out in its final form in the marriage process. And then you're sitting with a whole lot of things, which cost you money, because of course divorces cost money. So I say this to men at the end of the day with this situation. Let this be a case study of who you are picking when it comes to marriage. Yes, she's all beautiful, she's out there, she's doing her thing, but is it really something that you really want ideally? Yes, you want beauty. We all want beauty when it comes to a woman. But what are the underlying things you're not seeing under the rug? You need to look at that as well. That is what is happening in this situation at this current time. That's all you need to understand in this situation. So, that's the thing about this whole the whole scenario when I look at it from between Quinton Jones is that there's a lot of shaming tactics going around. Of course, people are like now telling him he's not man enough, and even the men, even the simps are coming out and saying, if I was a man, I would have just left it. I know a lot of scenarios where men were well in their rights to file for, of course, for even half an estate from a woman who's making more than them, but they decided to leave it because these men were avoiding public scrutiny, avoiding the shame. There's a lot of things that men don't do that they should be doing. We could even go to the point of abuse where a woman is putting hands on a man and he could easily report it, but he decides not to. But in this case, I guess, he is changing the trajectory of how things ought to be done in a fair constitutional way. That's just my take on the situation. But at the end of the day, people are still going to move the goalposts and still going to give their reasons as to why they think he's cowardly. We've seen a lot of situations where men have actually taken the initiative to end things and they've given their reasons, but they're still publicly shamed. Look at young Jeezy. He just got divorced from Jeannie Mae. Just divorced now recently. And there was a lot of things that he was talking about regarding that. There's a lot of things that he was stating as the reasons why he divorced and why he couldn't handle it or why he couldn't deal with her any longer. Social media was all over him, telling, oh no, you should have kept longer. Only 2 years, it's a short time. There's many scenarios we could look at here. And that's why with gentlemen, that is why these scenarios are also, as why we see these podcasts all over YouTube. We see them all over YouTube, whether it be Fresh and Fit podcast, whether it be whatever podcast, it doesn't matter. There's a tunnels, whether we listen to Kevin Samuels, etc. These are the reasons as to why men are listening to the content they're listening to and seeing it in real time. This is why a lot of these, this is the reason why there is a lot of these platforms talking about issues like this. You understand? This is just my take. But for people to fulfill their own little personal thing, I don't care. Do what you want to do. If you feel that he's broke, I don't think that he's a guy that needs 10k on a monthly basis. And a lot of people are just speculating that he's broke. There's a lot of, and the funny thing is, there's a lot of women out here who don't have that money, but they will take their ex-husbands to court for maintenance. No one says a thing. No one scrutinizes whether this person's broke or not. But here's the kicker of the situation. We live in a world now where every woman is strong, independent, and they can do for their own, and they got all the bread. Okay, let that be the case. But when you get married, and you have to go through a situation like this where you have to pay your husband. Look at Mary J. Blige. She's paying alimony for her ex-husband. So that's all I'm saying in this situation, guys. Tell me what you think. I think, look, I think he's well in his right to do whatever he wants to. He's a grown man. He can choose what he wants to do. He can go the process the way he wants to go about it. Who are we to judge? Who's anybody to judge him? Let him do what he does. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know, guys, what you think about this whole topic. Until the next one. Peace.